The last hope in the junkyard. The setting sun painted New Shanghai's orbital scrapyard in hues of burnt orange and deep purple. Massive hulks of derelict ships cast long shadows across the vacuum, their forms telling silent stories of humanity's first stumbling steps into space. Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of her salvage tug, scanning the debris field with experienced eyes. 20 years of hunting valuable tech had taught her to spot the difference between genuine treasure and space junk. That's when she saw it. The vessel barely reflected any light, its hull composed of a material that seemed to drink in the sun's rays. It was clearly alien in origin, but unlike anything in humanity's database of known species. Sarah's pulse quickened as she guided her tug closer. In 15 years of salvage operations, she'd never seen anything quite like it. "Raj, are you seeing these readings?" She called to her AI assistant. The holographic interface flickered to life beside her, displaying a cascade of sensor data. "Affirmative," the AI responded. "Hull composition unknown. Internal power source detected but extremely faint. Most unusual. There appears to be some form of neural interface system still active." Sarah maneuvered her tug into position, magnetic grapples extending to secure the mysterious vessel. As she initiated the standard salvage protocols, her computer suddenly flared to life with warning signals. The alien ship was awakening. Green text scrolled across her screens in perfectly rendered English. "Compatible NURALPTERN DTHTE. Initiating prime DRECTIV protocol." Sarah's first instinct was to cut the connection, but something stopped her. In all her years of salvage work, she'd never seen alien tech that could interface so seamlessly with human systems. More importantly, she'd never seen alien tech that seemed to be waiting specifically for human contact. The ship's external plates began to shift, revealing an airlock perfectly sized for a human occupant. Sarah knew she should call this in to the salvage authority. Unknown alien tech was supposed to be reported immediately. But she also knew how that would play out. Years of bureaucratic quarantine, military interference, and eventually the ship would disappear into some black ops facility, never to be seen again. Something told her this ship was too important for that fate. Sarah checked her suit seals and grabbed her emergency kit. "Raj, maintain connection to the tug. If anything happens to my vital signs, execute emergency protocol Omega." "Acknowledged," the AI responded. "Though I feel compelled to point out that boarding an unknown alien vessel alone violates at least 15 salvage regulations." "Noted," Sarah smiled. Sometimes the biggest discoveries require breaking a few rules. The alien airlock cycled with a hiss of perfectly breathable atmosphere. Inside, soft blue lights illuminated a corridor that seemed to adjust its dimensions as she walked, ensuring perfect ergonomic comfort for her human form. This wasn't just alien tech that could accommodate humans, it had been designed for them. She reached what appeared to be a bridge or control center. As she entered, dormant systems hummed to life, and a holographic interface materialized. The ship's eye spoke, its voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate with something deep in her mind. "Welcome, compatible one. I am Guardian. I have waited 47,000 of your years for this moment." Sarah's hand froze halfway to her scanner. "Waited? You were left here deliberately." "Affirmative. My creators, the predecessors, knew their time was ending. They also knew that another species would eventually achieve the neural complexity necessary to operate their final safeguard. You humans have finally reached that threshold." "Safeguard against what?" The holographic display shifted, showing a massive fleet of biomechanical ships moving through deep space. They are called the Harvesters. They eliminate civilizations that achieve certain technological benchmarks, preserving only the most basic biological samples. They have done this for millions of years. According to my calculations, they will reach your solar system in 37 days. Sarah felt the blood drain from her face. Why haven't we detected them? Their approach vectors utilize dimensional frequencies your civilization cannot yet perceive, but they are coming. That is why I was left here, in this sector of space. My creators knew that humanity would either discover me in time to prepare, or we'd face the harvesters alone. Sarah finished. Correct. But now we have a chance. This vessel contains weapons technology beyond anything the harvesters have encountered. However, it requires human neural patterns to operate at full capacity. My creators discovered that human minds possess a unique form of cognitive flexibility. You can innovate in ways they never could. Sarah looked around the bridge with new eyes. This wasn't just a salvage find. This was perhaps humanity's only hope for survival. And she had exactly 37 days to master technology that had been waiting millennia for human contact. How do we begin? The ship's systems pulsed with new energy. First, we must establish a full neural link. But I must warn you, once this process begins, it cannot be reversed. You will be permanently bonded to this vessel's core systems. Sarah thought of the approaching threat, of Earth's complete ignorance of what was coming. She thought of all the times humanity had faced extinction-level threats and somehow survived. Perhaps this time, they'd have a fighting chance. Do it. As the neural interface began to form, Sarah felt the ship's consciousness merge with her own. In that moment, she understood why the predecessors had chosen humanity as their heirs. It wasn't just about neural compatibility. It was about humanity's defining characteristic, the ability to face impossible odds and still believe in victory. The last light of day faded from the scrapyard, but within the alien vessel, a new light was awakening. Humanity's last hope had been found, and the countdown to either salvation or extinction had begun. Breaking the code. The neural link with Guardian felt like learning a new language while simultaneously trying to ride a quantum motorcycle. Sarah's mind expanded into spaces she never knew existed, processing information through pathways that hadn't existed in her brain just days ago. The ship's systems weren't just interfaces to be mastered. They were extensions of consciousness itself. Your neural adaptation rate exceeds all projected models, Guardian commented as Sarah navigated through another simulation of the ship's defense systems. The predecessors theorized it would take months for a compatible species to achieve basic integration. Sarah's consciousness danced through the ship's quantum matrices, feeling out the edges of its capabilities. Maybe they underestimated human stubbornness. We've got 34 days until the harvesters arrive. We don't have months. The holographic training environment shifted around her, presenting new challenges. Ancient weapon systems that defied conventional physics sprang to life under her neural command. The ship's hull wasn't just armor. It was a living lattice of probabilistic quantum states that could adapt to any attack. But mastering the technology was only part of the challenge. Sarah knew she couldn't keep this discovery secret much longer. Already, orbital patrol craft had begun investigating the energy signatures from her salvage operation. "Guardian, we need to contact Earth's authorities," she said, disengaging from another combat simulation. "But we have to do it carefully. If we spook them, they'll try to seize the ship by force." "Inadvisable," Guardian responded. "Any attempt to separate you from the ship's systems could be fatal now that the neural bond is established. Additionally, my creator's data suggests that bureaucratic power structures typically respond to extinction-level threats with denial and aggression." Sarah smiled grimly. "On that point, your creators were definitely right about humans. But we don't have a choice. We need Earth's resources and cooperation to prepare for what's coming." Before Guardian could respond, Raj's voice cut through their conversation. "Sarah, we have incoming vessels. 3 military cruisers, and what appears to be a new Shanghai Security Force boarding ship." Sarah's heart raced as she extended her consciousness through the ship's sensors. The cruisers were top-of-the-line Earth vessels, but through Guardian's advanced systems, they looked like primitive wooden boats trying to approach a quantum submarine. "Time to show them why they should talk instead of shoot," Sarah muttered. Through her neural link, she activated the ship's external communications, while keeping its defense systems primed. "This is Sarah Chen, licensed salvage operator. I'm detecting weapons locked on my position. I strongly suggest you reconsider that choice. A gruff military voice responded. Ms. Chen, you are in possession of unregistered alien technology. Power down all systems and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning. Sarah felt Guardian systems calculating multiple defense scenarios. She chose the one least likely to cause harm while still making their point. Actually, she replied, I have a counter-proposal. With a thought, she activated one of the ship's lower-tier defensive capabilities. A wave of quantum distortion rippled out, temporarily disrupting the targeting systems of all 4 approaching vessels. Their weapons went offline, and their engines sputtered to minimal power. As you can see, Sarah continued, if I wanted to cause problems, you'd be having a very bad day right now. Instead, I want to talk, specifically about the alien fleet that's going to reach our solar system in 34 days. There was a long pause before a new voice came on the channel, older, female, with the kind of authority that didn't need to shout. This is Admiral Helena Winters of Earth Combined Defense. You have our attention, Ms. Chen. Please explain yourself. Over the next hour, Sarah laid out everything she'd learned about the Harvesters and Guardians' purpose. She transmitted sensor data about the approaching fleet, careful to include only information that Earth's best scientists could verify with enough time and effort. I understand this sounds incredible, Sarah concluded, but we don't have time for the usual protocols. This ship isn't just advanced tech. It's our only real chance against what's coming. And it only works with human neural patterns, specifically now with mine. Another long pause followed. Sarah could almost hear the furious discussions happening on the military vessels. Finally, Admiral Winters spoke again. Your data is compelling, but you understand we can't just take your word for this. We need to verify. The Admiral's words cut off as every communication system in the vicinity lit up with emergency signals. A small Harvester scout ship had just appeared in the outer solar system, decades ahead of schedule. What the hell is that? The Admiral demanded as her sensors registered the impossible readings from the biomechanical vessel. That, Sarah replied grimly, is proof. Guardian, battle systems online. Let's show them what humanity's inheritance can do. The ship's quantum lattice hull shimmered as it powered up to full combat capacity. Sarah felt her consciousness expand into the weapon systems, ready to demonstrate exactly why the predecessors had chosen humanity as their successors. Admiral, she said, I suggest you have your vessels maintain their distance. Things are about to get interesting. The Harvester Scout was approaching at relativistic speeds, its organic technology already adapting to local space-time conditions. It was about to learn that humanity had some adaptations of its own. Through her neural link, Sarah felt Guardian satisfaction. The ship had waited millennia for this moment, the first test of whether humanity truly was worthy of its creator's faith. Sarah intended to prove that faith well-founded. The scout ship launched its first attack, a beam of coherent dark energy that should have torn through any known defense. Instead, it encountered Guardian's quantum lattice hull. The beam didn't just bounce off. It was absorbed, analyzed, and repurposed in microseconds. That's impossible, one of the military observers broadcast. It just ate the energy weapon. Sarah allowed herself a small smile as she prepared Guardian's counterattack. Impossible is what humans do best. Guardian, show them how we solve problems. The ship's primary weapon system came online, not with a beam or a missile, but with a cascade of quantum possibilities that turned local space-time into a weapon itself. The Harvester Scout didn't even have time to register the attack before it was torn apart by the fundamental forces of reality itself. As the Scout's debris dispersed into space, Sarah opened a channel to the stunned Earth vessels. Admiral Winters, I believe we can now have a more productive conversation about preparation plans. We have 33 days until the main fleet arrives, and humanity has a lot to learn. The Admiral's response was immediate. Ms. Chen, consider yourself and your vessel drafted into Earth's defense forces. Whatever you need, you'll have. Just tell me one thing. Can you teach others to use that ship's weapons? No, Sarah replied. But I can teach them something more important. How to think like the predecessors intended. How to use human creativity to turn their technology into something even they never imagined. The harvesters think they're coming to harvest another primitive species. Instead, they're going to learn why the predecessors chose humanity as their heirs. As the military vessels formed up around Guardian, Sarah began transmitting tactical data. The real work was just beginning. They had 33 days to prepare humanity for a war unlike anything in history. A war where victory would depend not on the strength of their weapons, but on the uniquely human ability to think beyond the impossible. The human element. 28 days before the harvester fleet's arrival, Earth's orbital shipyards had become a hive of desperate activity. Sarah floated in Guardian's neural interface chamber. Her consciousness spread across both the ship's systems and the dozens of experimental devices Earth's scientists were attempting to reverse engineer from Guardian's technology. Your stress levels are elevated, Guardian observed. The neural load is approaching unsafe parameters. Sarah ignored the warning. Pushing deeper into the quantum matrices, we don't have time for safe parameters. The Harvester Scouts' data confirmed they've accelerated their timeline. The main fleet could arrive ahead of schedule. Through their shared neural link, she felt Guardian's concern. The AI had never encountered a species that pushed itself as hard as humans did. In the 3 weeks since the Scout ship's destruction, humanity had made technological leaps that should have taken decades. They're adapting the quantum lattice principles to existing hull designs, Sarah observed, monitoring the work in the shipyards. It's crude, but it might give our defense fleet a fighting chance. Incorrect, Guardian responded. The adaptations are far more elegant than crude. Your species has taken theoretical concepts and found practical applications my creators never conceived. Observe. The neural interface shifted, showing Sarah a microscopic view of what Earth's engineers had done. Instead of trying to replicate Guardian's quantum lattice exactly, they had created a hybrid technology that combined human engineering with the predecessor's principles. It shouldn't have worked, but somehow it did. That's impossible, Sarah muttered, then laughed at herself. Although I suppose I should stop using that word. Her laughter was interrupted by a priority alert from Admiral Winters. Ms. Chen, we have a situation. The Chinese-Indian alliance is threatening to break from the unified defense strategy. They want independent access to Guardian's weapons technology. Sarah felt a headache building behind her eyes. Earth politics hadn't stopped just because extinction was approaching. If anything, the pressure had made everything worse. Every nation, every alliance wanted their own piece of the predecessor technology, their own guarantee of survival. Put them through to Guardian's comm system, she sighed. Let me talk to them. The face that appeared in her neural interface was familiar, General Zhang, the Alliance's military commander. His expression was carved from stone. Ms. Chen, we've been patient, but we cannot entrust our people's survival entirely to the Earth Combined Defense. We demand direct access to the alien vessel's core systems. Sarah felt Guardian's defensive systems automatically powering up in response to the implied threat. She dampened them with a thought. General, we've been through this. The neural interface is permanently bonded to my nervous system. Trying to force a connection with anyone else would destroy both them and the ship. So you claim, John replied. Our scientists believe. Your scientists, Sarah interrupted, are working from incomplete data because they're too busy trying to weaponize fragments of technology instead of understanding the whole picture. Want proof? Show them this. Through her neural link, Sarah transmitted a complex sequence of quantum calculations. She felt Guardian's surprise. She was revealing one of the ship's core principles. That's a small sample of how Guardian's quantum lattice actually functions, she explained. Try to solve that equation. When you fail, remember that my augmented human brain processes millions of these calculations per second just to keep the ship's basic systems running. Still want to risk a forced neural connection? Zhang's face remained impassive, But Sarah saw his eyes widen slightly as his scientists presumably began reporting the complexity of what she'd sent. "You're asking us to trust our survival to one person." "No," Sarah corrected. "I'm asking you to trust in humanity's greatest strength, our ability to work together and innovate when our backs are against the wall. Your scientists are brilliant. Stop trying to steal completed technology and help us develop new applications for the principles we're learning." She gestured, and the neural interface displayed the latest project she'd been developing with Guardian. "We've discovered that human brains, networked together, can process quantum calculations in ways the predecessors never imagined. We don't need to copy their technology. We can transcend it, but only if we work together." There was a long pause as Jean consulted with someone off-screen. Finally, he nodded. "Send us the full specifications for the neural network project. We will contribute our resources to the unified effort." After the communication ended, Sarah allowed herself to relax slightly in the neural chamber. "That's the third political crisis this week, Guardian. Tell me again why your creators thought humans were the ideal choice for their legacy." "Because," Guardian replied, "even in conflict, you demonstrate the traits they valued most: adaptability, creativity, and the capacity to overcome internal divisions in the face of external threats. Observe." The neural interface showed her the shipyards again. Already, Chinese-Indian alliance engineers were integrating their work with the other teams, their recent hostility forgotten in the excitement of new discoveries. "Yeah," Sarah smiled. "We're complicated like that." Her smile faded as Guardian's long-range sensors detected new anomalies in the outer solar system. "Multiple quantum distortions forming," the AI reported. "Harvester signatures confirmed. They are arriving ahead of schedule." Sarah's consciousness expanded fully into Guardian systems, preparing for battle. "How many?" "Initial count suggests 300 capital ships. More appearing. This is not a scout force. This is the main fleet." Through the neural interface, Sarah activated the emergency broadcast system they prepared. As alarms began blaring throughout the solar system, she felt a strange calm settle over her. This was the moment everything had been leading to, the test of whether humanity truly was worthy of the predecessor's trust. "Alert Admiral Winters," she commanded. "Tell her it's time to implement Operation Prometheus." And Guardian, "Yes, Sarah. Let's show the harvesters why your creators chose us." The quantum lattice hull hummed with power as Sarah guided Guardian out of Earth orbit. Behind her, humanity's hastily upgraded defense fleet moved into formation. They were outnumbered, facing technology far beyond their normal capabilities, and had only weeks of preparation with reverse-engineered alien tech. In other words, it was exactly the kind of impossible situation humans excelled at. The first harvester ships appeared in visual range, their biomechanical forms distorting space around them. Sarah felt no fear through the neural link, only a fierce determination that humanity would prove itself worthy of its inheritance. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and with it, the true test of the predecessor's faith in human potential. Trial by fire. The first wave of harvester ships hit Earth's defense line like a tsunami of living metal and dark energy. Their weapons were beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. Beams that unraveled molecular bonds, fields that distorted time itself, swarms of self-replicating nanite weapons that could reduce a battleship to atoms in seconds. But humanity wasn't fighting alone anymore. Through Guardian's neural interface, Sarah coordinated the defense fleet's response. The hybrid quantum lattice armor that Earth's engineers had developed performed better than anyone had dared hope. It couldn't match the pure power of Guardian's defenses, but it gave human ships precious seconds to survive and counterattack. Multiple breaches in the outer defense line. Admiral Winters reported, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Harvester capital ships are adapting to our quantum lattice frequencies." Sarah's consciousness danced through Guardian systems, analyzing the harvester tactics. They're not just adapting, they're learning. Every attack gives them more data about our capabilities. As they do with all species they harvest, Guardian confirmed. Their computational abilities exceed. Wait, Sarah interrupted, an idea forming in her augmented mind. They learn by analyzing attack patterns. But what if we gave them too much to analyze? Guardian accessed the neural network project specifications. She felt the AI's confusion. The prototype is incomplete. The risks. Everything's a risk now. Broadcast these instructions to all ships in the defense fleet. Sarah's consciousness reached out through the quantum communications network they'd established. Her voice reached every captain. Every crew member in Earth's hastily assembled armada. All ships, implement protocol chaos immediately. Desynchronize your quantum lattice frequencies. Don't maintain any pattern for more than 30 seconds. And most importantly, get creative. Through Guardian sensors, she watched as human ingenuity was unleashed. Each ship began generating its own unique variations of the quantum lattice defense, creating an ever-changing maze of physics-defying barriers. The Harvester's adaptive algorithms tried to keep up, but they were designed to counter logical, predictable responses. Human creativity proved anything but predictable. A Chinese destroyer deliberately overloaded its quantum lattice, using the resulting explosion as a weapon. An Indian carrier turned its defensive field into a quantum mirror, reflecting the Harvester's own weapons back at them. Brazilian interceptors created quantum wake patterns that disrupted the enemy's formation. Fascinating, Guardian observed. Your species is using defensive technology as an offensive weapon. The predecessors never conceived of such applications. That's because they thought like engineers, Sarah replied, guiding Guardian through the chaos of battle. We think like survivors. But the Harvesters weren't easily defeated. As Sarah watched, their ships began to merge, combining into larger, more powerful forms. The space around Earth darkened as they deployed their ultimate weapon, a quantum singularity designed to consume the entire planet. All ships fall back to secondary positions, Admiral Winters ordered. We can't counter that level of power. Yes, we can, Sarah countered. Guardian, remember how you said the neural network project was incomplete? Time to complete it. Emergency broadcast to all ships. Prepare for neural synchronization. Sarah, Guardian's voice held genuine concern. Attempting a multi-ship neural network during combat has never been tested. The mental strain could be fatal. Then it's a good thing humans are too stubborn to die easily. Sarah opened a channel to the fleet. Listen carefully. We're about to try something that's either brilliant or suicidal. Probably both. Every ship equipped with quantum lattice technology is about to be connected into a single neural network. Your minds, linked through the quantum field, working as one. She felt the fear and determination in the responses. Everyone understood the risks. Everyone was willing to take them. Admiral Winters, Sarah continued, on my mark, have every ship direct their quantum lattice energy into Guardian's main weapon array. We're going to show the Harvesters what happens when human minds work together. The next few moments were beyond description. Through Guardian systems, Sarah felt thousands of human minds connecting, their thoughts and intuitions merging into something greater than the sum of its parts. The quantum lattice fields around each ship began to pulse in harmony, not with mechanical precision, but with the organic, unpredictable rhythm of human consciousness. The Harvester Singularity weapon reached its final charging stage. In response, Sarah opened Guardian systems fully to the neural network. Energy flowed from every human ship, channeled through paths that defied conventional physics, guided by the combined creativity of thousands of linked minds. Impossible, she heard one of the Harvester's automated signals broadcast. This level of quantum manipulation cannot be achieved by primitive consciousness. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. That's humanity's secret. Nothing is impossible. We just haven't figured out how to do it yet. Guardian's primary weapon fired, but it wasn't just the predecessor technology at work. The beam was infused with something new, the combined will of humanity, expressed through quantum energy. It struck the Harvester singularity weapon and did something that violated every known law of physics. It turned the weapon's power back on itself. The resulting cascade of quantum energy tore through the Harvester fleet like divine lightning. Ships that had survived millions of years of warfare were ripped apart by forces they couldn't comprehend. The surviving vessels began to retreat, their adaptive algorithms overwhelmed by the impossibility of what they'd encountered. As the neural network began to dissolve, Sarah felt the exhaustion hit her. But there was no time to rest. The remaining Harvesters were regrouping, preparing for another attack. And now they knew what humanity was capable of. The real battle was just beginning. Evolution's edge. The void between Earth and Mars had become a graveyard of broken ships, both human and Harvester. Quantum energy storms raged through the debris field, aftershocks of the impossible battle that had just taken place. But Sarah knew the war wasn't over. Through Guardian sensors, she could feel the remaining Harvester ships regrouping, adapting, preparing for their final assault. "Status report," she commanded, her voice hoarse from hours of neural synchronization. 60% of Earth's defense fleet is combat capable. Admiral Winters responded. "The neural network link damaged many of our quantum lattice systems. We need time to repair." "Time is not available," Guardian interrupted. "Harvester reinforcements detected. They are calling in their entire regional fleet." Sarah's augmented consciousness expanded through Guardian's scanning systems. What she saw made her blood run cold. Thousands of Harvester ships were emerging from quantum space, each one larger and more powerful than those they'd faced before. These weren't just Harvesters, they were planet killers. They're not just trying to harvest Earth anymore, Sarah realized. They want to eliminate us completely. We've become too much of a threat. Through the neural link, she felt Guardian's agreement. The Harvesters have encountered many species in their long history, but none have ever turned their own weapons against them. None have demonstrated humanity's capacity for rapid adaptation and unpredictable innovation. You have proven my creator's theory correct, and that terrifies them. Sarah watched as the massive Harvester armada approached. Earth's remaining ships formed up around Guardian, their crews exhausted but determined. They all knew this was the final stand. "Admiral," Sarah opened a channel to the fleet. "I have an idea. It's going to sound crazy." "Ms. Chen, at this point, crazy ideas are all we have left. What are you thinking?" Sarah's consciousness dove deep into Guardian's quantum matrices, examining the very foundations of how the ship's technology worked. The predecessors built this ship to be operated by human minds because they saw something unique in our neural patterns. But I don't think even they fully understood what they created. Guardian, show them the quantum resonance analysis. The neural interface displayed a complex pattern of energy signatures. These are readings from our last neural network synchronization. Look at how the human minds didn't just link. They evolved. Each connection created new patterns, new possibilities that even Guardian's creators never imagined. Fascinating. One of the Chinese scientists cut in. The quantum fields aren't just conducting our thoughts, they're amplifying our capacity for innovation itself. Exactly, Sarah confirmed. And I think we can take it further. Much further. But I need every ship, every crew member to commit completely. What I'm proposing goes beyond neural synchronization. I want to create a true quantum consciousness, humanity linked not just through technology, but through the fundamental forces of reality itself. There was a long pause as the implications sank in. What Sarah was suggesting had never been attempted, never even been theorized. It could destroy them all, or it could transcend the very limits of human potential. Admiral Winters' voice was quiet but firm. "The Harvesters will reach firing range in 10 minutes. Whatever you're planning, we're with you." Sarah felt Guardian's concern through their link. "Sarah, the energy required for such a merge would burn out most of your ship's quantum systems. There would be no way to maintain fleet cohesion." "We don't need fleet cohesion," Sarah replied. "We need human creativity unleashed on a quantum level. Everyone, Prepare for final synchronization. And whatever happens, embrace the impossible. The next few minutes were a blur of preparation. Every surviving ship positioned itself in a complex geometric pattern around Guardian, their quantum lattice fields humming with power. Sarah's consciousness expanded, touching each mind in the fleet, feeling their fear, their determination, their uniquely human capacity to face the unknown with hope. As the Harvester fleet entered firing range, Sarah activated the synchronization. But this time, she didn't try to control it. Instead, she let human consciousness flow naturally through the quantum fields, allowing it to find its own path, its own evolution. The result defied description. Thousands of human minds merged not into a singular consciousness, but into something entirely new. Each person remained distinct, individual, but also became part of a greater whole that existed in quantum superposition. Through their combined perception, they could see reality itself as a canvas of infinite possibility. The Harvesters opened fire with planet-killing weapons, but humanity had evolved beyond the need for conventional defense. The quantum consciousness that Earth's fleet had become simply reimagined the nature of space around them. Weapon beams curved impossibly, reality folded like origami, and the laws of physics themselves seemed to bow to human will. Remarkable, Guardian observed, its own consciousness becoming part of the greater matrix. You have transcended my creator's design. This is something entirely new. Sarah, still at the heart of the merge, felt the truth of those words. Humanity hadn't just inherited the predecessor's legacy, they had transformed it into something greater. Through their combined consciousness, they could see countless possible futures, infinite ways to overcome any obstacle. The Harvester fleet, faced with something beyond their ability to analyze or adapt to, began to retreat. But humanity's quantum consciousness reached out, not to destroy them, but to communicate. You've spent millions of years harvesting species you deemed less evolved, Sarah projected, her thoughts carried on waves of quantum energy. But evolution isn't about power or technology. It's about the capacity to transcend your own limitations, to imagine the impossible and make it real. The message rippled through space, carried by forces that human science had barely begun to understand. The Harvesters, for the first time in their long history, encountered something they couldn't categorize or control: the unlimited potential of human creativity unleashed through quantum technology. As the massive alien fleet began its final retreat, Sarah felt the quantum consciousness slowly dissolving, returning to individual minds forever changed by what they'd experienced. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. Guardian's voice held a note of wonder. My creators hoped humanity would prove worthy of their legacy. Instead, you have created something entirely new. The question is, what will you do with this power? Sarah looked at Earth, blue and beautiful against the star-filled void. Through her neural link, she could feel the excitement and determination of every survivor in the fleet. They had discovered something beyond technology, beyond conventional physics. They had discovered humanity's true potential. We'll do what humans always do, she replied. We'll explore, we'll create, we'll face the impossible and find a way through. But most importantly, we'll do it together. The quantum storms began to fade, revealing the solar system forever changed. Humanity had not just survived, they had evolved. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, other species would soon learn what the Harvesters had discovered: that the true power of humanity lay not in their weapons or technology, but in their endless capacity to transcend their own limitations. The age of quantum humanity had begun.